Hey everybody, welcome to Grimsforge Gaming. Today I'm going to give you my Hawkeye build. This is a Bowman for Stamina Nightblade, and we are kind of playing this hard mode, and so if you don't necessarily like the ability layout, I'll give you some options, so stick around from that. We're running some pretty unique sets that are kind of game breaking, I should say, or they're going to give you an edge. But let's jump into this and we'll look at it. Okay. So first things first, I am running a two-piece Balors setup on this. This is a Battlegrounds and CP PvP build. Okay, so I'll take this out to Cyrodiil. We were out in Cyrodiil wiping groups, and I will have tons of fun in Battlegrounds with this. Okay, two-piece Balors. The thing about this is if I save up for a 500 ultimate, if I'm saving for a 500 ultimate, this thing's going to give me 11,500 pin. 11,500 pin. Let me double check that. It might even be 12 because math, right? Let's double check this here real quick. So it's 23 times 500, right? Yeah, 11,500 pin. Okay, and if we're saving a 500 ultimate on this, we're also going to get an extra 500 weapon and spell damage out of it, and that's before medium armor scaling. So that ends up being like 600-700 weapon damage coming out of Balors. This build will hit in the 6,500 range, and then with some additional outside buffs will break 7k. So there are times in Battlegrounds and out in Cyrodiil where I'm breaking 7k weapon damage. It hits extremely hard. So two-piece Balors, when we do our bow ult on people, they absolutely feel it. So especially werewolves. You can see we are running Oakensoul with this, and I'm running Oakensoul with a Swift. Now, for Nightblade Bowmans, especially the way I'm running Hawkeye here, I don't have conventional heals. If you want to run conventional heals, I'll show you how to do it on this, but I'm not running conventional heals, so I need to be fast. And so what I did was I ran Swift on two pieces of my jewelry, and I'm running the Steed Mundus Stone. And the Steed Mundus Stone, when we go and we look at that, because I am in Divines right now, the Steed Mundus Stone gives me an extra 13% movement speed and then some extra health recovery. The extra health recovery is actually pretty nice. 1,700 health recovery coming in a PvP zone, and it goes higher because of some CP, but this helps a lot because of how I've got Hawkeye set up. Okay, now you could run with something different than the Steed, but you'll lose that 13%. And so let's look at it. If you're running Wild Hunt and you're in combat, you're getting 14% movement speed. So by switching to the Steed, I get 13% movement speed. I'm almost moving just as quick in combat as I am with Wild Hunt. Okay, something else about that too, so two of my jewelry are going to be Swift, and so there's an extra 14% movement speed on top of that. I'm not a vampire on Hawkeye, and if I even ran Wood Elf because Wood Elf fit the bow play style really well, but generally I probably should be like Nord or some type of human race, right, as opposed to this. But anyways, sorry to break your immersion with Hawkeye, but anyways, we're running a lot of speed even for not having Wild Hunt, and I might even be able to show here. Yeah, we can move in and out really quickly. We move around fast, so it feels great. The movement speed on this is perfect with the Steed. If you don't want the Steed and you want to run whatever, you can. I wouldn't run the Lover. You don't need any more pen on this. This build features 28,374 pen. So 28,000 plus pen. It's pretty crazy. Okay. Okay, Oakensoul. Pretty much every major buff and most of the minor buffs in the game, and you can't bar swap. So you can see that I've only got one bar. Now I actually leveled Hawkeye because I wanted to get used to a one bar play style. I actually leveled Hawkeye on one bar and for the most part with no heals. So all the way through to CP, for battlegrounds and everything. I wanted to see if this playstyle was viable, and just that shows you how powerful Shadowy Disguise is. Your ability to disengage from a fight, reposition, and then because we're running around with nuclear capabilities, we can kill people or groups of people very quickly. And so, sorry, it was working out really well. Let's look at, you see that we're running Oakensoul. We are running a 3-piece agility, okay? And the 3-piece agility is going to be the weapon. So we're running a bow, and as far as enchant, you could run shock. Enchant would be good. I wanted to make sure that we didn't run out of stamina with our dodge rolls and stuff, so I just went with this one. Hasn't really been an issue, but if you want a little bit more pop, shock damage glyph might be the way to go. And we're running just this purple agility necklace with swift trait on it. And then I've got a 1-piece trainee for that extra health, and you can see this is in health E because our max health at 28k, and in CP scenarios you know that the damage is just absolutely off the charts, and I could probably afford to have 5k more health than this for when Dark Convergence pulls you in and Plague Break goes off and all the other BS that's in the game. But so higher health is good. Now we can stay outside 40 meters or so. 30 to 40 meters is where I like to play against people because all of our abilities have that type of range except for our Magnum shot, which is 22 meter. So when we're CCing them, we'll close the distance a little bit, but we can play from really far away on people. So I like this play style. It's very, obviously I'm not running any conventional type heals, right? And we'll see that when we look at the abilities, and if you want to, you can, but I need to be outside. I need to play a hit and run play style and be able to disengage, and they have a hard time finding me. Okay, so we're running 3-piece agility for that extra weapon and spell damage, max stam, 1-piece trainee for a little extra health, and then it's run in healthy, and then we're running Oakensoul. Now, here's the kicker. Here's the set that is pretty interesting. It's going to be the Sentry, and if you've never played with Sentry before, let's talk about this. Max stam, weapon damage, critical, and then more weapon damage. That weapon damage is near what you could get weapon damage wise from New Moon. New Moon being in the 400 range, and we're approaching 400 because of that first 5-piece weapon damage. Okay, max stam, weapon damage, crit, and then more weapon damage. The real kicker on this is the 5-piece. When you begin to crouch, gain stealth detection for 10 seconds. This effect can only be activated every 30 seconds. I'm not worried about the 30-second cooldown that actually comes up quicker than anticipated, and we have other means to get people out of stealth. Hawkeye's whole premise, if not to nerd out on you guys too much, but Hawkeye obviously is one of the most elite level marksmen, you know, in the MCU universe, right? And the way he met Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, was he was hired to take her out as an assassin. He actually tracked her down, had her in his crosshairs, per se, and opted not to take her out, and then created a friendship, a very, very close friendship with her because he saw her immense skill. And Hawkeye is basically hired to take out other assassins, and so that was the premise of this. I'm going to put a build together where I take out other Nightblades. Now with 28k pin, I can take tanks out just as easily as I can take Nightblades out, but this 5-piece, if you've never used Sentry before, it's unlike any other stealth detection in the game. Even detect pots or mage light, any of that. Let's look at some of the ranges on some of this stuff. Mage light has an 8-meter radius, okay? And in PvP, and you know how slick Nightblades are, 8 meters means you have to stay right on their butt, right? Or Mage Light's not going to keep them out after that 4 seconds. When you hit it again, they're gone. They got away from you, right? Same with Fighters Guild. Expert Hunter only has an 8-meter radius too. This armor set is as far as your eye can see. And it doesn't matter, like if they're sneaking around, they're hidden, and the Nightblade's like, I'm going to bomb this group. The second that they come to within your eyesight, they are unhidden. Now, here's the way it works. On their screen, it shows them exposed, shows them unhidden. They can't see me. They don't know where I'm at. They just know someone sees them. And you'll immediately see them try and hit their shadowy disguise again, and they're still exposed. And then they'll try and hit it again, and they're still exposed. And then they just kind of scurry away, like looking for cover, like, what's going on? Why am I exposed? There's a Nightblade right on me. Okay, this is as far as the eye can see for 10 seconds. Let me show you what the animation looks like too. They can't see me, I can see them. See my eyes? I can actually see for 10 seconds, as far as the eye can see, I can see anyone that would be stealth. They can hit shadowy disguise, I still see them. They can use a invis pot, I still see them. They can sprint like a vampire, I still see them. Anyone within eyesight. And so that makes Sentry pretty darn useful in CP scenario PvP. And if you look at the weapon damage that I'm able to put together, like I said, we're going to break 6k, we'll approach 7k weapon damage with outside buffs. That's enough to put people away. 7k weapon damage, 6k weapon damage, absolutely enough to put people away, plus another 28,000, plus 28,000 penetration on top of that. So we hit really, really hard on this. And as far as Nightblades go, the second I crouch like that and I can see them, I can line up my full rotation, my lethal arrow right into my magnum shot, and then what I'll do is I'll wait until I've only got a couple seconds, and then I'll mark them so I get an extra 3 or 4 seconds of them being marked, okay? And so usually, if I'm on point, a Nightblade's not going to get away from me with 14 seconds of time. We all know this to be true. Nightblades really crutch on shadowy disguise, right? That's their disengage. What happens when they're only disengage outside of maybe shade? What happens when their major disengage fails them, right? And they're running around just hitting shadowy disguise, shadowy disguise. Why can't, this isn't working, this is bugged, or that guy's hacking, or that guy's cheating. And I just hit down, and then as soon as I tap down and tap up, now I can see this whole time. You know, I'm not even hidden right now, and I can see. It's no problem. And I just follow them around, just filling them full of holes, okay? So I love this armor set on Hawkeye, okay? So, Sentry armor set, you can see I'm running mostly Divines on it, and I did run Reinforced because our resistances are on the low, especially for CP, where it's Procopolis, right, or whatever you want to call it. There's so many procs out there, so I wanted a little bit more resistance, but 18k resistances isn't going to stop much of anything in the game right now. So I have to be fast, and I have to be able to get away from them. And if in the event I'm ever exposed, I don't try and scurry off on Hawkeye, I just try and dispatch and put them away. So I don't have the resistances to play that game. Someone finds me, I gotta kill them. So let's look at our abilities here. We're gonna show a couple things. Stuffy nose. Let's see. Okay, character sheet here. Because of the steed and where our ultimate's at right now, 17 other health recovery is really nice. This stamina recovery is absolutely getting it done. That's great. And the magic recovery, I love where it's at. Lower max stam. Our max mag's okay, and our max health is okay. 36% crit, and we do crit often, so that's great. Our physical pen, base physical pen, 7,900. We get another 11,500 from Belores. We get another 6k from marking our target, and then I get another 3k, which is minor breach, from focused aim, which is my preferred snipe on Hawkeye. Now here's the thing, focused aim has a longer range. You can see it's 40 meters range, so it's got a longer range than a lethal arrow. Also, I'm not worried about applying the minor defile, or I'm not worried about applying the defile with the other snipe, because they're not going to be there. They're going to be dead anyway. So I am trying to global, 100% them in the right first 3 seconds of that fight, okay? And if not, then they're on their back bar, immensely on their back bar. Like they have a very hard time getting off their front bar because of the amount of pressure I'm putting into them, okay? This isn't a bad tooltip either, 11K focused aim, and then you can see the minor breach down there at the bottom. Our Magnum Shot thumps 2 at 8,300 damage, and there are times where I might not have a chance to line up a 0.8 second focused aim. I'll initiate with this to make sure I get the minor breach, and then it's just medium or light attack magnum, light attack magnum, light attack magnum, and it's a very quick rotation, and it hits very hard as well, especially if it's critting. And this Magnum Shot, some people are running bow builds, and this is actually their snipe tooltip, 8,300. So there that is. Another thing too, where is it? Right here. Dealing damage with a light or heavy attack increases the damage of your bow abilities by 5% for 5 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. So that's a 25% damage increase just doing that rotation, light attack magnum, light attack magnum, light attack magnum. And so you'll see this actually get up into the, well, let's do, because math right now, we're going to do this. How about that? At just our weapon damage where we're at right now, 8,300 plus 25%. So that's another 2K. We'll break 10K on our Magnum Shot, okay? Awesome. Piercing mark. So we'd already talked about this with Hawkeye, but basically he hunts other Nightblades, and so I want to make sure that I get all other Nightblades off the field, and so that's what I'm looking for, are scouts. I ran around up in Imperial City for about 2 hours just hunting Nightblades, and they could not for the life of them figure out why they were exposed until they were dead, and then I had a person message me. I should have recorded this and saved the footage, but they messaged me and they're like, I'm reporting you for hacking, So a lot of people are really sleeping on the Sentry set. They don't know about it, so definitely check into that. But anyways, I'm going to mark them, and if I'm going to try tanky people, I'll mark them right at the beginning. Now here's the deal. I'm not running a conventional heals that we talked about. The only heals other than my health recovery on Hawkeye is if I put someone away. It's like my reward for finishing the mark, right? I did my job, here's health, okay? And so I thought that was pretty interesting. Piercing mark, and you can see there, you can detect marked enemies even if they are stealthed or invisible for 3 seconds. When your marked enemy dies, you heal for 11, almost 12K. This portion of the ability scales off your max health. Well, my max health's pretty low, but that heal is still pretty juicy. You can only have one mark at a time. So there that is. Now, what I want to do is that person that is the Nightblade that can't figure out why their shadowy disguise isn't working, I don't want to mark them at the start. What I do is I line up a heavy attack, a focused aim heavy attack right into a Magnum Shot, and then I mark them, and then I continue my rotation. Okay, shadowy disguise gives us a guaranteed crit from stealth. If you want to run, here's ways to optimize this. If you want to drop pierce mark, run vigor, run healthy offering, run whatever burst heal you need. I haven't really needed it because I would say I'm an advanced Nightblade. I'm an advanced bow user and probably an advanced Nightblade user because I've played so many characters, right? 170 plus, but. So piercing mark is one of my heals. The other one of my heals is merciless resolve, and the tooltip on this isn't bad at 22, 23K, and then it heals me for 50% of the damage. So what I'll do is I very rarely release this without Magnum shotting them first. If they're fighting someone else, I'm going to roll the dice, and I always let this loose and then hit a shadowy disguise immediately after because we want this to be a guaranteed crit. And when this crits, I hit somebody with an 18K crit in a battleground with this. I let it loose. They were pretty far away. You can see this. This doesn't have a range, and because most of my people are in range at 50 meters, in range at 40 meters, I can let this loose at you know, my custom attack distance, right? And so I let this loose, and it gives me time while it's traveling, because it travels a little bit slower to hit my shadowy disguise to get that guaranteed crit from it. Okay, you can see our tooltip on our toxic barrage is pretty good at 83,000, and then another 41,000 after the fact. And a lot of people are not running cleanses right now because of Plague Break, and so I'm getting that dot pressure. This absolutely destroys werewolves. I have no problem hunting werewolves at all, even the tanky boys. Like a werewolf running around with 40k resistances or whatever, does not matter. I'm stripping 28k of their resistances and hitting them with a toxic barrage, and because they're a werewolf, they can't cleanse it. They're taking all that damage, plus all the guaranteed crits hopping in and out of stealth. We're a nightmare for Nightblades and werewolves, so, and vampires as well, but lots of fun. I leveled Hawkeye on one bar without heals, conventional heals. So like when we go into assault, you can see I never even touched Vigor, didn't have that, never even touched Path of Darkness. I did have Strife on there because I needed an ability to get farther down. So I had that on my bar just to level this down farther for passives and stuff, but I don't even run any of this anyways. So, and then when I realized I'm not going to be using any of this because of Oakensoul, then I just stopped leveling that class tree altogether. So I don't need this because non-invisibility, this is the only ability that we're using, which is invisibility. So as far as class abilities go, it's pretty interesting. Get all your bow passives and medium armor. Get all your medium armor. I'm running 1 heavy, so we are 1 heavy and then 1 heavy, 6 medium, right? And still have a lot to do on Hawkeye, so ooh, look at this. I can get even further reach on my attack, so that's pretty cool. So now we're at 42 meters and 52 meters. That's pretty funny. And then we're a wood elf. This is built perfect. Wood elves are built perfect for bow classes, obviously. And increase your movement speed by 5% and your physical and spell penetration by 950. That's great. Extra stam recovery, which is great, and then our max stam is perfect. So I really like this wood elf. It's working out just great. Okay, some abilities. We talked about what you could change your heals out for. If you want to throw vigor, you want to throw healthy offering for a burst heal, you can on your bars, and you could probably put one of those in here, vigor or whatever. So that's pretty much, you only have these 6 bars to play with, and I wouldn't run it any other way than this for me anyways. So I haven't had, you can get Zerg down on this just like you can get Zerg down on tanky classes in any other build. So we're built for taking single targets out. We are a scalpel, right? We're not a bludgeoning tool, we're a scalpel. I've got video footage, I need to go back through and cut it up, but we were fighting a Zerg, and it wasn't a typical ball group, but it's just a huge mass of people, and I was able to weave in and out through the Zerg, killing the healers. Like, I literally would cut right through the middle of the Zerg and kill the healers and come out on the other side and disappear. And so it was a lot of fun. I was killing their Nightblade scouts that were out trying to look for people, and so much fun, so much fun. Okay, let's jump into CP here. We're running Steed's Blessing for an extra 20% movement speed out of combat. We're running Rationer to increase our food duration. It saves you a lot of money over the long haul. We're running Sustaining Shadows because I'm not a Nightblade. I need the reduces the cost of sneak by 50%, or because I'm not a vampire. I think I said because I'm not a Nightblade. Who knows? I am a Nightblade. I'm not a vampire on Hawkeye, so I need that reduced cost. Now, if you're going to run Vampire, don't run this. Run something else. As well as this helps out a lot. Reduces the radius you can be detected while sneaking by 3 meters. Very useful. Reduces the movement speed penalty of sneak by 25%. Very useful. If you're a vampire, you won't need this or this. Okay? And then I've got Treasure Hunter on Hawkeye for some reason. Don't really know why. Anyways, there that is. Let's jump into the blue tree. We're running Untamed Aggression, which is 150 weapon damage. We're running Wrathful Strikes for 205 weapon damage. We're running Deadly Aim, increase the damage done with single target attacks by an extra 6%, and increase your damage done with direct damage attacks by another 6%. A lot of people, it's very tempting to run increase your critical damage done. Okay, it's very tempting for them to run Backstabber. It's against enemies you are flanking. I don't, because we're playing at 40-meter range against people, if I see someone that's running at me and I'm 40 meters away, it will take me a long time to circle around them, right, and stay at my 40-meter range before I get this. So instead, I'm just going to get plus 12% to all my damage I'm doing. Everything I'm doing is single target, and everything that I'm doing is direct damage. So I might as well drop these in and not worry about Backstabber, okay? I'm just buffing my overall damage output, okay? If you want to run that, run that. You do you, okay? All right. So there's that, and some other things of note here. I am running, you do get an extra 100 weapon and spell damage on both sides of this. And let me look at something here real quick, because I don't know, I don't remember. So this is magic damage, so that actually pays dividends, that blue tree. Let's go in and explain. So we get an extra 100 spell damage here on magic attacks. Okay, so our Relentless Focus is a magic attack, and so we'll get that. Our Snipe and our Magnum Shot get additional buffs from this, as well as my Bow Ultimate get extra. So we get a little extra status effect, extra penetration right there. So anyways, I went on both sides. Obviously we can do that when we've got an immense amount of CP. So, and over here we're running max health. I want to make sure I picked up this max health too, and even with those we're running really low. So we've got that Boundless Vitality. Clarity for an extra 10% movement speed. Clarity is inside this tree right here. And then Thrill of the Hunt. Whenever you kill an enemy, you gain Major Expedition for 3 seconds per stage, increasing your movement speed. So when I kill someone, I get 6% or 6 seconds of major expedition. The nice thing about that is I can actually kill somebody and I don't have to dodge roll and burn stamina. I can kill somebody and immediately go to stealth, and I'm moving at major expedition speed. And so this is actually a form of sustain. It saves me a dodge roll and then a stealth. It saves me time where they could see me or I'm exposed. Kill someone and immediately stealth, they might not even know where I'm at. And this is actually how I was able to move in and through. As long as you're killing people very proficiently on Hawkeye, you can move very quickly, often, okay? And I'm running Strategic Reserve, and this is if I'm sitting on my ultimate, I'm gaining that additional health recovery. Health recovery on Hawkeye is very important because I don't have conventional heals. If you end up running Vigor, Resolving Vigor, or Healthy Offering or whatever on your Nightblade setup similar to this, then you can come off a Strategic Reserve and you can run something else. So, but that's just seemed to work for me. Make sure you pick up this Tumbling to reduce roll dodging also. Okay, that's that. Let's go look at the this is a new part of my builds where we show what we're wearing armor wise. So this setup I wanted to look like Hawkeye in his quantum outfit when they're getting ready to go back in time and to get the Infinity Stones or return the Infinity Stones. And so this was a pretty easy setup, and all it is a costume. So I come in and we go to costume, and it's a shrouded armor, and then I just colored it to the different colors, right? We've got Fire Drake's Flame, Marble White, and Thalmor Black. Okay, pretty simple. If I put a different Hawkeye build together, like maybe his Ronin outfit or something like that, we'll do that. And the hairstyle I think is called Standing Wave. So okay, I think that's everything. We went through the build, we looked at the stats. I like the stats. The 28k pen and 7k weapon damage, and then all the stats from Oakensoul, the speed on it. This thing really chops people down. Yes, I don't have high health, and yes, I don't have a lot of resistances, but I'm just a guy with a bow, right? So it's been a lot of fun playing this. So I challenge you, try this same play style. Try and play without conventional heals and see if you like it. You know, I want to hear about that in the comments below. All right, it is the 4th of July. Happy New Year, everybody. Be safe out there. Don't blow your hands off, kids. Bye.